Welcome back to day 7 of our 17-day, $17 leads mini course. I couldn't be more excited today to talk about tonality. What are you sounding like when you are talking with a prospect? You could be sitting with them face to face. If you're over the phone, it's even more critical. I would say tonality is probably 90% of telesales, in my opinion. I did a ton of appointment setting work as an agent. So I did a lot of phone work. Even though initially I wasn't selling over the phone, I was still having to talk to people over the phone a ton. And
hmm
I naturally found myself talking in a certain way to keep people on the phone. And in my opinion, too, just to really get right to the point on this one, you guys, I felt like I lowered my pitch a lot. I talked in a lot deeper voice. There's like an authoritative piece of it that I felt naturally kind of come to it. If you're talking in a high pitched voice and hey, what's going on, Mrs. Jones? What's going on? Can I talk to you for a second? Hang on, I need to get you on the phone. I feel like that's like naturally you're more inclined to just not want to talk to that person, right?
Woohoo!
It's Mickey Mouse.
Woohoo!
Hey, hey, guys. So I'm curious though, that being said, Christian, talk to me about tonality. When you're talking to a leader, you're talking to a prospect, it could be, that first phone call, or maybe you're literally at the kitchen table. What's your tonality like?
Yeah, so for me, I found also the sweet spot is kind of lowering my voice a little bit, but I'm trying to lower my voice to the point where it's like calming. I don't want to
Right,
stress the person out. So like
right.
if you guys did watch that video of me calling leads, you might notice is like I don't I stay right here and I don't go here, here, here. It's not like this in terms
Right.
of the urgency. Like it's almost like I'm Jokic of talking. I'm Nikola Jokic of talking. I'm not going too fast. I'm not going too slow. I'm
Yeah,
going exactly at my pace, and but it's also deepening my voice as well, right? And so a lot of it might be like, Mrs. Johnson, my name is Christian. I'm getting back with you on a conversation you had with one of my associates, right? Like it's
right.
enunciating certain words.
Yeah,
But you want them to have almost like a calming, soothing feeling when they're speaking to you. And I feel like that also, honestly helps people want to stay on the phone with you. One thing we ended day 6 with on scripting was a lot of this is just getting them to stay on the phone with you, right?
sure.
And so there's such a thing as like stressing a client out. I know for me, that's a huge part of it. And yeah, and I think, you need to pick which words to emphasize. You need to pick, where you're going to really, give a little bit of extra oomph
Totally.
to something. So you lose so much communication that human beings have when you're on the phone only with somebody, right? You lose eye contact, you lose facial expressions,
Right.
you lose body language, like whatever you're doing. There's a lot of like if I'm talking to Glenn and I'm like I'm telling him something, I'm like, yeah, so this weekend we did this. He's gonna be like, the fuck are you doing, right? Like, but I could be doing that on the phone and nobody's gonna know. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah,
Mrs. Johnson, I'm getting back with you on,
it's true. It's true.
like
It's true.
so you have to make
Now
up
I'm,
for.
I'm I'm imagining you calling your lead. You're just dancing in your office. You're like, "Hey, Mrs. Jones, let's talk about quotes." That's that's hilarious. I would say too, there's a part of this, you guys, where I think matching your prospect's energy, that's something that naturally I feel like I got pretty good at too. Initially, I was more of like a classic kind of railroad salesperson where like I would get in the house and like it's like, hey, we're going my way or the highway, you
hmm
know? But then I realized like that's not, people don't want to be strong-armed into talking about anything. So what I found was like trying to really match my prospects approach made a infinitely huge increase in not only my close percentage, but just my ability to pitch and get someone to listen to what I want to talk about, Sometimes people are going to be a bit more low energy, slow pace for, again, whatever reason. So sometimes I would try to match that, their tone, their pace, Yeah, it's been a long day. What are you doing? Talking slower. Again, matching. I think emotional transference is a superpower for salespeople. If you get really, really good at it, and I've gotten to see some salespeople who are incredible at it. I mean, just chameleons, where you get in the room and they are now immediately connecting with that prospect because of that. And the prospect's like, oh, they're like me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, and I also really liked what you said about highlighting certain words.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's almost like they won't hear what you're saying, but then if you change your tone or your pitch on certain words, it will register differently for them, especially if you're on the phone. I
Yeah.
think that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think, kind of something that kind of relates to what you said about kind of staying on their level with their tone, that's so key. Also, when you're staying on their level and you're remaining completely in agreement with them and you don't break the agreement, right? Like I've joked on stage before at the summit where I've like, when I'm talking about this topic and I'm like, you're a Democrat. I'm like, me too. Go Joe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're a Republican. Trump train,
Yeah.
baby. Let's go. Like what? I'm not. I'm.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, yeah. So like staying in agreement with them.
Vote blue no matter who,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon. I was like, I'm on everybody's team, let's
Yeah. Right.
go,
Right. Like, and I did do quite a bit of that early on in my career. I had one client bust me. She went and Facebook stalked me, and I
Oh,
saw some stuff I had posted politically. I took it all down since I don't post really
yeah,
much about politics
same.
now. But like I had one client bust me ever out of God knows how many,
Yeah,
And
it's a
you
great
know,
point, though.
I think it's a great thing to stay in line, right? To stay at their level, go up to their level energy wise, go down to their level energy wise, because they're going to feel a comfort with you. And people buy from people they like, know, trust, right? And
Yeah,
they're going to like you if they're comfortable with you. They're going to trust you if they're comfortable with you. And they're going to get to know you. They're going to feel like they know you because, like Glenn said earlier, they're like me.
yep,
So I think that's a great, and then I think that's a great point, and I think that's ultimately my thoughts on
so
tonalities
now.
that you guys.
Yeah, it's a subtle thing, and I think most training, sales training, insurance sales training, I think misses this. They just go right over it. But tonality can be a big difference. Sometimes that's the difference between them hearing you out on your presentation or just not wanting to talk to you at all. So some really great points. You guys, this is day 7 of our 17-day mini course, How to Succeed at Buying Insurance Leads. What is success? It's having that positive ROI. If you want to take advantage of this massive call verified fixed cost exclusive lead discount, check the link below. It is only for a limited time, only until May 27th. If today's day 7, that means you only got 10 days left. I wouldn't miss out on this. This is huge. This is the biggest discount we've ran in years. So if you're missing out on this, you're missing out on the biggest discount ever. So until next time, you guys, happy selling. As Christian loves to say, sell in large volumes and buy insurance leads in large volumes. I would add that too. He's
Buy
it's sales and
leads,
marketing. Yeah.
buy these leads in large volume at $17 a pop because there'll be
Yes,
more if you wait till after.
that's correct. That's correct. All
Adios,
right, you guys.
everybody.
Till next time.